Trigger Spoons, Trigger Spoon Magnums, Trigger Spoon Pros, Trigger Spoon Juniors, Speed Spoons, Speed Spoon Pros. Looking for spoons for your trout fishing adventure? Think FHS Spoons. You can check them out at fishhuntshoot.com. Howdy guys, Cal Kellogg here. I want to talk about downriggers, or more specifically, I want to talk about downrigger weights. Had one of the fans of the channel out on the boat today, and his name's Reed, and he asked me several questions about downrigger weights, and I thought they were pretty interesting, and I think you might find them interesting too, and I think I'm going to be able to save you a little bit of money, okay? He asked me, does the type of downrigger weight you use matter? I said, well, it can matter a lot. You know, the faster you're trolling, the deeper you're going, the heavier weight you want to use. This is an 8-pound weight. This is a good all-around size weight for, you know, electric downriggers when you're out here fishing for trout and king salmon on a lake. Now, if you're fishing for kings in really deep water, you know, you might want to go to a 10-pound weight, and you might want to go to a weight that's, you know, more of a pancake style weight that's going to track better in deep water. Well, that's not really what Reed was asking. He wanted to know if you should be using the fish-shaped downrigger weights, the kind that cost $100, or if you should be running the 4-fin downrigger weights because they track better. And you know, I know there's a lot of different opinions out there. Opinions vary. I wouldn't spend the money on them myself. They're cool, they look cool. It's a sinker. It's a big, giant weight. Its only function is to get your fishing line from up here to down there. That's all it does, okay? So I don't see the need for fish-shaped weights, 4-fin weights, any of that stuff. If you want them, go get them. Fantastic. Will they help you catch fish? Maybe, kind of, if your game is at the level where it matters. First thing you need to ask yourself, what kind of setback are you using? Now, a lot of guys that target kings in deep water, they're using a really short setback and their bait is really close to the ball. That's not the case with 90% of guys that I know. They go trolling for trout and their gear is 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 feet behind the ball. If you're running a spoon 100 feet behind the ball, it doesn't matter if it looks like a fish or a garbage truck or a big round chunk of metal like that. What you care about is, does it get down, does it stay down, and does it cut through the water pretty smoothly? You don't want a bunch of oscillation, you don't want it going up and down, and you don't want to be using a weight so light that you get all kinds of blowback and your cable is going out there at a you know, a shallow angle behind the boat, because then you're going to have a hard time figuring out how deep you're actually fishing. If you're getting blowback, heavier weight, maybe a more streamlined weight like a pancake weight. If I was going to go out and spend some extra money on a downrigger weight, I would go with the cylindrical type, the type that the kokanee anglers often use. Why? Well, it's cylindrical, less resistance through the water, less chance of hanging up. The last thing I'm going to do is put on a downrigger weight that costs $100 so I can get it hung up in the rocks and lose $100. And by the way, anybody can lose a downrigger weight. I'm not saying you can't, okay? I've been downrigger fishing for about 20 years now. This is the first set of weights I ever got, and I've still got them. I've got it hung up, I've got it out. You can see there, it's hit the bottom plenty of times. You know, attention to detail. Won't be dragging it right across the bottom. If you want to drag the bottom, get the cylindrical style weights. They're not as prone to hanging up. Use some caution. You're going to buy a set of weights, maybe 2 sets of weights, some heavier weights, some 8-pound weights, and you're going to have them for a really long time. And guess what? If I lose this weight, I'm not going to be crying in my soup because I lost a $100 weight. Last but not least, Reed asked me, what's that? I said, this is what prevents you from breaking the cable, okay? This is a Scotty, I'm not sure what they call it. I call it a Scotty downrigger bungee, and I think that's what they call it too. This comes from Scotty. this half-rotten piece of paracord here, you're gonna have to come up with that on your own. That's how I hillbillied that on there. The bungee comes with a stacking clip and one of these big, gigantic snap swivels here. But what that does a couple things. When you're hitting the bottom, if you do hit the bottom, it cushions that. And if this thing comes to an abrupt stop, or you maybe drop the ball overboard and you've got some slack in the line, it cushions that cable, and most of the time that's going to prevent that cable from snapping and the ball, you know, going to the bottom of the lake. I think you should be running those bungees all the time, but I would double, triple make sure I had those bungees if I was using, you know, $100 downrigger weight, because the last thing you want to do is snap the cable and lose that. But anyway, to recap, get some bungees, get a couple different weights of balls. 8 pounds is standard, 10 pounds, 12 pounds, depending on how fast you're trolling, how deep you're trolling. And if you got a bunch of money to throw around on the fish-shaped chromed downrigger balls, hey, hang on to that. Buy some lunch, buy some bait, buy some extra gas for the boat, because I can tell you, 99% of the time, that downrigger ball, it's not going to help you catch more fish. It's not going to help you catch bigger fish. All it's going to do is make you look like one of the cool kids. And you want to know how to look like a really cool kid? Come back to the dock with a big old fish. Those fish-shaped, you know, downrigger weights, they're not going to help you do that. Get some 8s, some 10s, some 12s. Get out there and get after those fish. Those are my thoughts on downrigger weights. I hope this helps you make some decisions in the future as to what kind of gear you're buying. I'm signing off for now. Everybody's mileage varies, but that's my take on downrigger weights. If you're looking for trout gear, go on over to fishuntShoot.com. You can see my full line of rods and spoons, blades, and more. And please take a second to hit the subscribe button, and you'll always know when I'm on here talking about fishing tackle, fishing tactics, and more. And one thing you can take to the bank, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna be a straight shooter. I'm not gonna tell you you gotta go out and get those real cool fish-shaped downrigger weights, and they're gonna help you catch more fish and have whiter teeth and make you taller and less bald and all that, because they're not gonna do that. It's a weight. Get a weight, go fishing. I'm out of here. I'm having some fun. You have a great day, and I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube.